So, good day. I'm excited to be with you again. We'll be talking about the most immediate political and economic future of our country, Nigeria. The thing is, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to remove subsidy and float the naira against the dollar and against all other major international currencies, I was a little set aback. I was like, it's not just about floating the Nigerian currency. It's not just about floating the naira, but it's about the fundamentals behind floating the naira, the fundamentals that will anchor this news of floating the naira. And I was a little set aback, believing that floating the naira could spell doom for the naira. And once the naira was floated, we saw how it kept ticking from 1.2 to 1.3 to 1.4 to 1.5 to 1.6 to 1.7, even to at some point to 1.8. That should have been in February. Then in March, the presidential initiative through the CBN, controlling of forex, all of the measures put in place, we started to see the value of the naira against the dollar appreciating. And I was still skeptical. I said this appreciation is anchored on what premise? But this week thereabout, we now get to start hearing that dangote refinery is now selling diesel that sells for 1,700. Dangote is now selling for 1,350. I mean, this is a major milestone. This is a renewed hope, in the sense that the Nigerian economy has taken the turn for the better. They have turned the corner. Nigerian economy now has been steered around. There's going to be a lot more stability in terms of prices. In the nearest future, I foresee prices being stable, if not even a downward adjustment, if not even coming down slightly. And prices are beginning to stabilize, beginning to come down, even if it is just the cost of transportation. You see, most of the goods in Nigeria, consumables, after manufacturing, everything, all of the goods are transported, and most of these transportation are through heavy duty trucks, and most of these heavy duty trucks, they all use diesel. So I think it's a very good initiative right now. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, I think, is about the most brilliant, the most intelligent, the smartest businessman that has the love of the people at heart, the businessman that puts Nigeria first. Bringing diesel from 1.7 to 1.350 is a very, very, very big achievement in the life of this Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. I will say to you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a master strategist, is a tactician, and is a genius. He has had the courage to do what every other president has been shying away from doing, both past military head of state and past civilian presidents. Everybody has been shying away from floating the naira and removing this subsidy, as it were. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken the bull by the horn. And in not too much of a time, we are beginning to see the effect of this thing in real time. You see, when the naira was floated, it kept ticking. So we can say now currencies react in an historical pattern. Currencies follow history. Currencies are traded on historical data. Now, it's nothing that has not been unheard of before. The naira are traded at 1.850, and then before it retraced downward. Now, what are the things that can keep retracing this dollar downwards, bringing it to 1.2, 1.1, 1,000, 900, 800, 700? It is when we stimulate our economy. It is when we jumpstart our economy. We force start the economy. We add stimulus to the economy. We bring succor to the life of the ordinary citizens. We stimulate production. We grow what we eat. We produce what we consume. We have more of the inflow of the forex into our country. We stop importing diesel. We stop importing petrol. We stop a lot of this importation. We have a very, very, very healthy trade balance of trade. We produce such that we have surplus for ourselves, and then we can export. You can't say the Nigerian farmers are not going to farm because of insecurity. That means there has to be an interagency collaboration. The president should double the defense budget, increase the budget of defense, make the army very comfortable, very attractive, very, double the spending of the defense budget. If the defense budget is doubled and our army can keep insecurity far away from us, it brings prosperity to our land. The more of insecurity we have, the less of prosperity we have. The more secured our country is, the more our farmers can go to farm, the more our people can work freely and have liberty and have freedom to pursue what makes them happy, to pursue what puts food on their table, to pursue what puts money in their pocket. It's a simple thing. It's just for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to talk to the chief of defense staff, have his soldiers, different battalions here and there, get these soldiers, get a farming cluster, a cluster of 1,000 farmers, 1,500 farmers, designated area for dry season farming. Let soldiers be in charge, secure these farmers. Let these farmers be able to produce in mass. Let them be food. Let prices of food come down. Let the average man be able to afford food. Let food not even be a problem in this century we live in. Let people be able to feed themselves. Let there be all-inclusive growth. Let there be all-inclusive. Let there be accommodate. Let the poor breathe. In the slogan, or in the famous slogan of the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, said, "Let the poor breathe." Let there be a tax bracket where you don't choke the poor. Let the poor be happy to pay tax. You're happy to pay tax when you have it. You don't tell people to give what they don't have. You cannot sow where you don't reap. You must give these people the economical power to thrive. Before you can even think of, you can't tax a dead man. You can't tax a dead man. A man must be alive and must be doing well before he thinks of being taxed. So you see, when I got to hear of the news of Aliko Dangote selling diesel 1 million liter per 1 million liter per marketer and crashing the price from 1.7, I mean, that was a fundamental enough news that can anchor the naira, that is basis alone for you to say, okay, we see why the naira is gaining more strength against the dollar. And what do we have to do to keep this naira gaining more strength? What do we have to do to keep this dollar being strong? We have to stimulate our economy. We have to encourage local production. We have to encourage growth. Just today again, we have heard where the electricity regulatory bodies have come out to say 66 naira per kilowatt per hour is nothing. It cannot help these discos maintain or generate electricity or transmit electricity, or in what case how we might have it. Now, if you are going to increase electricity to 225 naira per kilowatt hour, it just says one thing. It says you should allow this electricity to be available for the poor baba on the street to be able to access electricity for barbing. The welder that is welding, let him have electricity for his welding. The electricians that are working, let there be light in an economy size the economy of ours that we have not yet been able to generate even 10,000 megawatts of electricity. Then I think that the joke is on us. How do we stimulate production? How do we encourage this big manufacturing? What subsidies do we give to them when you have to pay through your nose for generator, running diesel, running your generator all night, all day? Then you have to factor in that cost into your cost of production. But if there's electricity, people don't need to run generators. They don't need to buy diesel, by the way, which is already on its way down. I mean, there will be an all-inclusive, encompassed wealth that will go around, proper distribution of wealth. It will trickle from layer to layer within the economy. So I think this is a very laudable one for Alhaji Aliko Dangote's refinery to have finally come on board, to have finally delivered diesel to marketers at below 1,350 naira per liter, which is very commendable. I think Alhaji Aliko Dangote is more than deserving of all the National Merit Honor Awards he has gotten, and I think he deserves a higher award with this very gigantic step he has taken to at least, if not reduce prices of goods, to at least bring stability. Let's even have stability before we think of it coming down, not the one that everything keeps going up every day. Now, at least we have a station where things would not be going up anymore, but will be stable, and then we'll now start thinking of reversing the tide. I'm so glad, like in the word of the Vice President, he said the Nigerian economy has taken the turn, and we have taken the turn for good. We have taken the corner. We're now heading to greatness, to prosperity, to a renewed hope. I feel so upbeat. I've never felt so good about this country like I feel this time around, because for once I see a government that is putting things aright, having things work. I've seen there's no more jam grid, there's no more hold up along the Osho, the Apapa Expressway. Why? These things are not rocket science. Trucks are no more parking on the express. Why? Because the rail now carries the container into the terminal. You don't have a situation where you have trucks, loads and loads and loads of truck parking on the expressway. I mean, you see these countries that have AAA ratings with the international agencies, Moody's, Fitch, Standard and Poor's, all the rating of all these mid-European countries, North European countries, Scandinavian countries, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, name them. These countries don't do things, it's not rocket science. They don't have two heads. They just do things properly. And then with the life that is coming into the breath of fresh air that we are receiving from Aliko Dangote now, where this diesel price is crashing, is coming down. We have diesel prices coming down. We have forex prices coming down. We have, this spells good for the economy. This spells good for the Nigerian masses. It spells good for the Nigerian people at large. I'm only glad that we are having to see the benefits of this renewed hope agenda in our lifetime. The only other thing is for the youth to wake up. Look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu the other day just went to Senegal to shake hands with a very, very youthful president, vibrant president. This is what we need. As President Tinubu sets this tone, lays these landmarks, and he has taken the bull by the horn, we now need for our elders to be in mentorship category, in advisory categories, and let us take over. We, the youths, they are never going to hand over this thing to us. We must grab it and run with it. We must take this thing. We must run with it. It is now our time. The youths are not going to be leaders tomorrow if they don't start acting now. Today is the time for the youth. Let us be vibrant in all aspects of our national life. Let there be shared prosperity. Let us have an encompassing growth where everybody feels upbeat, feels proud to be called a Nigerian, the most populous black nation in the world, the most populous nation in sub-Saharan Africa. We are blessed beyond measures. Human resources, natural resources. Nigerians don't have any reason to japa. Where are you japa into? There is enough abundant wealth in this country. There is wealth, stupendous wealth in this country. Let us have a system where Nigeria works for Nigerians. I would be monitoring this Dangote Refinery progress because it is one news that has brought joy. It has gladdened me. It has gladdened me so far. It has gladdened me. Coupled with what the CBN has been able to do with the EFCC, keeping the rate of the dollar very respectable. Now we are now having diesel coming from 1.7 to 1.3, and then things are happening. Things are happening. I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a genius. I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a grand strategist, a tactician of repute, a builder of men. Look at the Minister of Works working for Tinubu. I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to pay that guy double salary. Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, that guy never rests. He works round the clock. Look at the road. Look at the coastal road, Lagos to Calabar, in less than 8 hours. Do you know what that is? From Lagos to Calabar, do you know what that is? That is a milestone achievement. Look at the rails. The rails are beginning to take life. We are beginning to see steam on our railways. We are beginning to see flatbed carriage lifting our containers into the ports, in and outside of Apapa. We are beginning to see a turnaround in our aviation sector. Look at that perfect gentleman, Allen Oyema, with those Boeing 777, those Boeing 777, those air jets, there's nowhere in the world you want to access that those aircrafts are not airworthy. You can fly into Gatwick, you can fly into Heathrow, you can fly into JFK, you can fly into New York, into Texas, on Allen Oyema's wings. I mean, that is a wonderful young man. This administration has shown the will, the courage to work with these people and bring shared prosperity to our land. So I will say on this note, I am monitoring the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration bomber to bomber, because I hope to take over from the president and continue where the president stops. The president already has celebrated his 72nd birthday. We would want, after the first tenure, a president like me. I will want to be president for you. I will come out and offer my services to the Nigerian masses and be the next executive president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We would have this country working. This country will work for us. It's the time for the youth. Our time has come.